everyone, and welcome to a new video. Today I shall be touring my base on Spooncraft before Season 3 begins, which I thought might be a good idea since, well, really? This season isn't going to last much longer. Oh, for goodness sake! I think the place that we'll start at is here. When I first came to this place, this is the original site, it said Sydney. And there was like a crafting bench and a few other things, and the forest over there came up to the shoreline here. We had very bad mob problems, and so I thought, oh, what's the first thing I'll do? I know, I'll make a house. I built this little building here, and I was like, this is a nice start. Maybe I'll make this a Victorian sort of style. And so eventually, I moved on to my second building, which was actually this one right here. As you can see, they're very similar styles. And so I built this to house my storage and other random stuff, and eventually I ended up putting my bed in here. As we were saying, before I put that in and made the mistake of doing that because it was way too loud, came along here and I started this. The railway station, because I was like, righto, what am I gonna do? Oh, I know, I'll make it Victorian. And so what was a very Victorian thing? Railways. I went and started this thing, station, but it houses my nether portal. And so I was like, yeah, whatever, station, but we can't have a station without a train. And so we got this here. I forget what class it is, and I can't get up there. But yes, we got this. I made a railway carriage, and it actually looks quite decent. And I'm like, oh, that's not too bad now. Oh, lovely. I might be able to jump up. There we go. And it's empty. Righto. Well, now we all know what's inside there. Yes, and so I built that. And then I'm like, what's another very Victorian thing? To have the Royal Navy here. And so I built this little guy. I made like a dry dock for him to be in. And I'm like, oh, nice, this will do. So I built it, and then I only just filled it in with water the other day. And I'm still yet to name this ship. But it is my colonial gunboat. And I was like, right, we need to have more stuff. So I started building this. And then I'm going to probably build another one there, and then it turns out the season's ending, so I probably won't end up doing that. I built this little guy here, now we have a colonial gunboat, and I'm like, yes, that's nice, but it won't do. And so, along comes HMS Sans Parai to exist off in the distance. It's not finished, but it looks cool. I came along and thought, alright, I need myself an actual house, and so I built this guy. Can I update this? Yes, I built this. Whoa! I built this guy to live in, and I have a bed. It's a big, lovely house, and I'm calling it the Governor's house, and it is quite nice. So I placed this building in here, and it's building-like. It's kind of average, honestly. It's just a thing to fill up space, and that it does. I also added this little veranda, which is nice. Yes, and so I built that, and that became the first part of the base. And then along here, I'm like, alright, we've got to fill in space in the middle, and I was inspired by a build of greens on the Minecraft Evolution server, which was basically in the middle of his downtown Evo, and it was this tall thing, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I should build something similar, and I never finished, so that's what exists there. And I'm like, righto, so now I need a place for the railway to go, and so I'm like, it can't really go up a slope that is that steep, and I was like, there's no point in making a giant cutting into it, so I'll make a tunnel, and it doesn't go very far, but it looks certainly cool. And so that was mostly it for the while. And then I come back on here a few months later after having a break from Spooncraft, and I start building this stuff like the other month or whatever. And then I got bored again. And so I've only just come back in the past week or so to do some more stuff, and I'm like, right, what do we need to assert dominance in the background? Oh, I know, I'll have a shot tower. So I made a shot tower. You go up this tall staircase, and eventually when you hit the top, you have a platform of which you then go and drop down molten lead, and it forms hopefully spherical balls of lead, which you can then use as shot, which is nice. And yes, I've tried to make it fairly realistic, quote unquote, but I doubt it is. But the good thing is, I have a great view of the place, and I still need to finish those off. I don't know what to do. Yes, I have a great view of the place down there, which brings me along to pathways. They actually don't look too bad. What is that? And that. Alright, I'm not going to bother asking questions. So otherwise, that is about it. Ow. And so, that pretty much brings me to the end of this tour. This base tour. And, if you have any suggestions, that won't take long to do, since this will be updating to 1.18 sometime soon, hopefully. Yes, if you have any suggestions to add to this, thank you for watching this video of me doing a very average base tour, and I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Goodbye. Who is this dude? Ow, that's a bit of a thorn in my side. How rude that went far. Very deep arrow. That's going to require a hospital.